Realme GT2 Review. The Realme GT2, featuring a fresh revolution in its smartphone design along with several small but welcome upgrades, is among the strongest all-round phones you can purchase today. Impressed by the attractive holographic blue finish at the back of Realme's GT2, which gave the back of the phone a lot of depth. Had no expectations of outgrowing the GT2 in terms of appeal, but delighted to discover that this phone was amazing, all-star caliber. Designed in collaboration with Naoto Fukasawa, this biopolymer-based smartphone design is the world's first and is visually stunning. This gorgeous, environmentally friendly end made of paper embedded this enhanced compostable material yielded an emissions reduction of 35% using eco-friendly laser cutting and precise manufacturing by camera bump. It was embossed with Realme's logo. But can't possibly tell you the best part about it: feeling the texture with your own fingers. The rubbery pattern makes for a pleasant grip surface, and when playing the games and video conferences, fine making do with that straightforward ridged button. It's a popular touch point in the spotlight of a competition. The present vehicle was slightly larger but more heavy than the GT, to position the battery compartment at 6.4 by 2.9 by 0.3 inches. And 6.9 ounces. The internal components were balanced so as to provide for an even weight distribution. Of course, there are several different Realme GT2 models you can purchase, including an all-black model, a white version, and a white model with a glass back. But trust me, the paper green version is beautiful. The Realme GT2 sports a very similar 6.43-inch Super AMOLED screen to the preceding GT screen, packing a 2400x 1080 pixel resolution and buttery 120Hz refresh rate. The company says it requires up to 106 NTSC color gamut coverage and 1300 nit peak brightness. These two numbers produce a big difference here, as well do not have the correct equipment to investigate these claims. Direct comparisons show that this screen is brighter and sharper than the original G-Tech. There is something missing, of course. Mentioning this in the audio section must be a dead giveaway to the missing element. Realme has vetoed the 3.5mm headphone jack. This isn't as much of a deal in the Bluetooth earbuds-dominated world as last year's model. But it is still considerably more difficult to use hi-fi codecs, even with this year's model. Stereo speakers are equally adept at maintaining fine detail while distorting at reasonable volumes as the 2021 model. Of course, they produce a tinny sound with minimal bass, but they work great for TikTok doom scrolling. Realme has selected the Snapdragon 888 in addition to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor for the final generation of the GT2, cancelling the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor for the GT2 Pro. What we've been learning about the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 is that while its capabilities are very advanced, you will likely not be using them to their full extent, and the cost you will pay in reduced battery life and power draw can be significant. Nonetheless, the GT2 chipset was stronger than numerous others, even lots of other older ones. The Geekbench 5.4 benchmark produced a rating of 3562 for multi-core. The Samsung Galaxy S22's speed falls short of that of the iPhone 13. And the latter's performance even surpasses that of the phone in real life. Multitasking is made possible by 8GB or 12GB of LPDDR5 RAM. But a new addition to the settings enables you to assign up to an additional 7GB RAM with your 256GB UFS storage. You can give an additional 19GB by using the 256GB storage. Again, suggested it, and Realme reacted accordingly. Trust the previous GT had commendable stamina with a 4500 mAh battery but would have delighted in a 5000 mAh cell for some excess juice. Unfortunately, that's precisely what the company implemented. Realme has sought to improve the front-facing camera for this smartphone from 5MP to 50MP with an aperture of f1.8. With an aperture of 1.0 microns, this main sensor lets in more light, which helps improve photo quality. To tell you the truth, the novelty does not last when delving into the numbers of the 8MP ultra-wide. While the aperture has been increased to f2.3, image quality is only marginally better than that of normal shots with added noise, or certain distortions. And what's worse, you have an entire arsenal of ultra-wide lenses that you won't even look at. Thankfully, the face of Android skin development lately has been fairly pacified. But the latest update to the Realme user interface is among the most minimalist and clean on the market. There are pre-installed apps, most of which are social networking apps. Although this is a radical improvement over the Realme 8 5G, that is a terrible breath of fresh air, to say the least.